Hello again, it's Miss Darling in the studio. Welcome. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to show you some little cool, I don't know what you would call them, sort of accordion type booklets. I made these a long time ago and I cannot remember if I ever did a video on them or not, but I thought, well, even if I had, it was a long time ago, and so they deserve to have another viewing, and so that's what we're going to be doing today. So let me first show you some of the ones that I've made already. They're very fun. They are time-consuming to make, I will be honest about that, but when you get them done, they're just really cool. And so here we go. Okay, as I said, they're accordion style, and so I have a small version and I have a larger version, and I'll show you both, and then I'll show you how I made them. So here's one. You open it up, and I decorated some of the backgrounds in this and added some coffee dyed paper for journaling. And see, here's a little pocket with something stuck in. You don't have to do that, but you know, it's just up to you how creative you want to get with them. And so they just sort of accordion out like so, and then you flip them over, and this is what I put on the back side. Now, these are the backgrounds. I think some of them are made from Tim Holtz paper. The others are made from just regular scrapbook paper. And so whatever you have on hand. And so these, let me get a measurement for you. These are 4 inches tall by approximately 2 inches wide. So 2 by 4s, and you know, you just cut them out. Now, if your paper doesn't go wide enough, for instance, let's measure this whole length here. Okay, so this is 14 inches. And so that obviously is bigger than a scrapbook page. So you might wind up with 2, and then you glue 2 of the flaps together to get, you know, a longer version, so you have more of the accordion feel. And so that was that one. Here's one here. It opens, this is the front, and you open it up, and this has some jars and vases and whatnot in there along with the paper. And then we're gonna, so then we have this neat little back cover, which could be the front cover or the back cover as you wish. And so you open it up on this side, and you've got more decoration and more room for writing. And so they're just really cute and fun. And I have all kinds. Here I've got some lace thrown in. This one isn't, you know, the background isn't decorated as much maybe. I have these little pockets, and then just, you know, make a little card to stick in. And then the back side is this green. And so this is one of the Tim Holtz papers. It's scrapbook paper, but it's cut down into, I believe, thirds. And some of the designs are already designed that way, so it makes it real easy to cut. This one is labeled Thoughts, and this one doesn't have any decorating on the scrapbook paper, but just on the cover. And you can see you can add, I think I've added paper wherever there's an inside fold. That's where you're going to add your pages for writing. Here's one a little bit more industrial, and you know, the paper was chosen accordingly, and so that's that. I see I missed a section there. I maybe ran out of coffee dyed paper. And then here's the more industrial side here. And let's see. This one here with a pretty butterfly on the cover. And you open it up. This again is Tim Holtz paper in the background. Flip it over. So, you know, if your paper is highly decorated already and you don't want to cover it up, then don't bother adding decoration. But if it's a little boring and in places, then you might want to add something. So here we've got a little more industrial look going on, and we open it up to this and flip it over, and we have this. So you can add pages or not. You could even do it without adding pages, but then it doesn't serve its purpose as a little journal. Now this would be great. You can carry one in your handbag quite easily, and so at any time of the day you can stop and jot in a memory or something. And so they're, you know, really cute, and I think very handy to have. Here I ran a piece of lace down the middle and then used that as a pocket and stuck these extra little cards in there. Let's see what's on the reverse. Okay, no lace on the reverse, but we do have some upper pockets here. I didn't get far enough, I guess, to stick anything in there, but you know, I was working around the design that's already on the paper. So try to do better about staying within view. So those are my little ones, and then kind of the same idea, but just larger. I dropped my tape on the floor. So let me give you the measurements of these larger ones. These might be half, I don't remember, maybe half. Okay, okay, they're 3 inches across, roughly, by 6 inches. So this would be, the height would be half of a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And so whether it's Tim Holtz or some other designer that you're using, you just, you know, cut the paper in half and then figure out your accordion with 3 inches across. So you can see there's more room in these larger versions to decorate the background. So I've got pockets there with some extra pieces that serve as writing. In this, I don't have the coffee dyed paper, but I do have printed paper that, you know, is printed to look like vintage paper. And so there's a pocket there, and so we pull this on out, and you can see that here's where two pieces were glued together to make the full length of, let me back out a little bit here, and so maybe you can see the whole spread. Okay, so it would take one full scrapbook sheet, 12 by 12, to make one of these. And you just cut it in half and then glue them together. And here, you know, and you have to decide you're going to lose 2 of these when they're glued back to back. So, you know, you just decide what part of the scrapbook paper you can afford to lose, and then where your cover's going to be. In this particular one, there's a little charm dangle here, a little shoe, and so there's pockets throughout with extra ephemera tucked in, and that would be my back, and then here's the front. So here's some more of the same idea, different paper, you know, scrapbook paper used. This one is undecorated on this side, but let's take a look at the other side. Yeah, just the cover is decorated, and then pages are inserted in there. So, and this has a large tag here. If depending on how you glue it together, if you just glue along the outer perimeter, you can actually create a pocket in the middle, in that section where you're gluing 2 of the widths back to back to each other. So you can do that. Here I think is one that is maybe just, yeah, this is just one length, not 2 glued together. So here's the cover, and then you open it up, and you see this one isn't as long. And, you know, I don't remember if it was just leftover paper I used, or whether I deliberately decided to, you know, cut the length in half. I could have done that as well. But I hope you get an idea for the variety that you can make. Here's a couple more using quite a bit of lace, and, you know, very feminine, and, you know, just full of nice writing areas. I've got some more down here. Okay, now this is my extra paper that I haven't done anything with. And so now I can use these to continue making more accordion booklets, or I can just leave them as they are and use them as nice little tucks into a journal, into a pocket somewhere. And, you know, just a little extra thing. And if you go ahead and put some paper in there, then you've added a nifty place for someone to journal. Now, you can then even take a shorter section like this. This is also, this is not Tim Holtz, I believe. I think this is a different one. You want to use scrapbook paper that is printed on both sides, I think, in order to have them look really special. Obviously, if it's only printed on one side, the other side's going to be white or off-white, and, you know, then you might, you know, need to decorate it more. But it's just a whole lot easier to use stock that is already pre-printed on both sides. So now we'll go into working on one, at least getting you started. So I wanted to show you different ways that you can fold. This is a great time as well to use up a lot of your ephemera, you know, small things, little documents, or, you know, things of this nature. And, you know, they can be used to create a nice cover or an insert, however you want. But, you know, you probably have collected a bunch of this type of thing. And so what do we have here? Okay, these are just, you know, real simple booklets. They're not accordion at all. And I just sewed the pages into it in the middle, and it's just, you know, a single square folded in half and the pages sewn in the middle. And these make great little stuffers for your journals. And you can do all different kinds. So let's talk about cutting them up, and then how you fold it is going to determine what you get to work with in the final. So this started out as a single cut through the 12 by 12 paper, and this is four inches. So you cut your paper 4 inches, and in this particular case I'm using paper that was already pre-designed for this size. So I just had to make one cut down the middle and then just start folding in, you know, every other fold goes the opposite way, and so you wind up with this nice accordion piece. And so this is just one pass, and this is the same thing, only instead of this final fold coming back out like this one, I took and folded it the same way as this one, so that you wind up with something that you can pull out when you flip it over. Okay, so just, you know, keep that in mind, that how you fold them together will change what you wind up with in the end. So now this is a smaller size, and this is 3 inch, and some of the paper, this is Tim Holtz again, some of the paper is designed with 3 inch squares. So I just went with the design of the paper, and so I have an accordion. It's just a smaller size, okay? And here's one that is as big as the first one, and I think I must have folded this different, so we'll open it up. Yeah, so this one I folded differently, and this is my cover, and then you open it up, and then these two flaps are folded into the center, so they both pull out. In the other example I showed you, there was only one pull out. In this one, there's two. So then you wind up with this, and you'd have to put your pages in accordingly to fit and make sense with how you're folding your piece. Now this is the larger size, which is the 4 inch. Now this is 6 inch height by 3 inch width. And you see that this is, again, Tim Holtz, and this is half a sheet, and you can see how he designed it to you know, for the squares, the small squares. But I didn't cut it according to the squares. I left 2 squares together. And so then when I fold it up, like in this particular one, I open it up and then flip out the 2 end pieces like so. And it's just a different design style where you've got, you know, 2 different squares on top of each other, and then you would decorate it accordingly. Okay. Here is where you have the single squares. I got 2 together, so I had this as my whole piece, but instead of folding it here and folding it there like in the other examples, I'm only going to fold it in half. So I wind up with this size. This is a little bit more odd, and the paper that I would put in here would be lengthwise going across. So this is 3 inches in height, but we're going to have 6 inches in width. So you could have something that opened this way, possibly. Yeah, this opens that way, where the 2 squares are stacked on top of each other. This is where the 2 squares are side by side, if that makes sense. So you can open it up this way and put your paper in here and pull it out, you know, into a long, elongated little journal booklet. This is back again to the other idea of folding it. It's not folded in the middle. It's only folded on the 2 sides, and they're folded inward. And I let the design of the paper actually guide me in terms of determining how best to fold it. I like something that's really nice looking on, you know, on this right-hand side. So if you notice, I try to pick something from the design that makes a really nice looking cover, and then fold the rest of the papers accordingly based on where on the sheet that stronger image appears. Now I could fold this in half going the other way, and I would wind up with a small accordion, but I'm just trying to give you ideas of how you can fold these. So here we're back to an elongated width, and then, you know, shorter. So I've got these side-by-side squares. I guess they're more rectangular. So this would be the 4-inch by, once it's folded, it's 6 inches. So this is a 4x6, and you just fold it in the middle, and then your paper you could sew in there and run your paper to this size. And then we have, what was this? Maybe just the same thing. This is where the more decorative part that I would normally want for a cover is over here on the left side. So I would be decorating this side to allow that one to be seen, but this one could use some extra decoration. Now you open it up, and so your main images are on the left side, whereas in this one the main images are on the right side of each page. Okay, so, but this is Tim Holtz. These papers are, was purchased a long time ago. I have no idea if they're still available, but if they're not, I'm sure he's got paper that you can acquire that's in this same sort of arrangement, but just different images. So, lastly, this is just a twosome where the design was tall and narrow, and so I cut out the whole square, just simply folded it in half and sewed my little pages in. This I don't believe is Tim Holtz. I believe this is a different designer. Could be Tim, but here's another little one here. And see how easy when it's decorated on both sides, you can really make something cool to stick in a journal super fast, and don't spend a whole lot of time on them, but still have something really, really nice to stick in a journal. So I hope that gives you some ideas of different ways you can work with paper according to how the design is. And there may be other designers who have paper out there available that are just as nice as Tim Holtz and are designed accordingly to do these little booklets with. And you can always make your own. And so just keep the measurements in mind. I think these are really good proportions. The 2x3 or 4x6 is standard proportions that you see in the marketplace. And either size, these of course would be a lot easier to carry around in a handbag, but even the 4x6 could be in a larger handbag and carry around with you, or give it as a gift to someone else that who likes to journal, and gives them a nifty little, Christmas is coming up, and so what better gift to give someone than something you made just for them. And so these are really cool ideas. They could even be used as stuffers. These could even be used as stocking stuffers. So anyway, I had thought about actually making one, but I don't think it's really necessary for me to actually make something for you to watch. It's very time consuming, and these are so simple. I really don't think anyone needs a tutorial on them, but I'd show them to you just to give you ideas of how you can decorate. I try to, and not always, but I'll sometimes try and coordinate my front cover with my back cover. And so when I made these, I was really working a lot with laces, and so all of my work went in that direction. And so I've got the lacy type, and I've got the more rugged industrial type, and everything in between. And just, look for scrapbook paper that is conducive to some of this. There's places that you can go, like at Michael's, I know for sure, and maybe even Hobby Lobby, but where you can buy single sheets, and you don't have to buy a pad of paper, which can be expensive, but also you might love a couple of designs in a pad, and then the rest is you just don't use because you don't like it that well. So look for stores that will allow you to buy single sheet. Might be a little bit more per sheet that way, but it gives you the flexibility of just picking out the colors and designs that are really appealing to you or to someone that you know. And so I just throw that out as something that will hopefully help you. So thanks for being with me. I do appreciate it so much. Be sure and give me a comment, tell me what you learned, or if you have any suggestions that you can pass on to me or other people, please do so. And that said, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.